Section 1.
You will hear a telephone conversation between a cycling club receptionist and a potential new member. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good morning. You've reached the Greenford Cycling Club. How can I help you?
Hello, yes. I'm calling to find out more about registering with your club. I've recently moved to Greenford and I'm interested in joining a local cycling group.
That's great. We've got a number of different membership options, depending on your level and what kind of cycling you're looking to do. May I take your name first?
Sure, it's Thomas Miller. That's Millar.
Got it, thanks. And is this just for yourself, or are you inquiring for anyone else?
Just me, for now. I'm still trying to persuade my wife to get back on her bike.
Well, no pressure. We've got quite a few couples who cycle together, so she might be convinced once she sees how fun it is. Now, have you cycled with a club before, or would this be your first time?
I used to ride socially with a group in Leeds, but I've never officially joined the club. I do a mix of road and trail riding.
That's good to know. Here at Greenford, we've got 3 main types of rides: road cycling, mountain biking, and family rides. Most members take part in more than one. You'd probably fit right in.
Sounds ideal. Are the rides on specific days?
Yes. Most of our organised rides happen on Saturdays and Sundays. We meet at the Greenford Leisure Centre at 8:30 in the morning. Rides typically last between 2 to 4 hours, depending on the group and route.
That's manageable. I usually ride Saturday mornings anyway.
Perfect. We also offer a shorter midweek evening ride during summer. Wednesday is at 6:30 p.m, usually about 20 kilometres for those who want something after work.
That might be harder with my work hours, but I'll see.
No worries. Now, regarding membership, you can choose between standard, competitive, or social membership. Standard is the most common and includes access to all regular rides, insurance cover, and discounts at partner bike shops.
What's the cost for that one?
It's £45 per year. Competitive membership is £60 and includes everything in standard, plus race entry discounts and access to coaching sessions. Social membership is £25, mainly for those who come along to the events but don't ride often.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
I think standard would suit me best to start with.
Great. To register, we'll need you to complete a short form, either online through our website or in person at the club office here at the Leisure Centre.
I'll do it online. Is payment made there as well?
Yes, you can pay by card at the end of the form. We'll then email you a welcome pack with your membership ID, kit catalogue, and the ride calendar.
Brilliant. Do I need to have a particular kind of bike?
For road rides, we recommend a proper road bike. Hybrids are okay for short rides, but they can struggle on hillier routes. For trail rides, a mountain or gravel bike is best. Helmets are compulsory for all rides.
That's fair. I've got a road bike and a gravel one, so I should be sorted.
Excellent. One more thing, would you be interested in our new member intro ride? It's an easy-paced ride we do once a month just for newcomers to meet each other and learn the route system.
Actually, that sounds like a great idea.
The next one is on the first Sunday of the month, so that's the 2nd of June. It's about 25 kilometres and we usually finish at the cafe by the riverside.
Count me in. Do I need to sign up separately?
No. Once your membership is processed, we'll include you on the list and send the meeting details by email.
Perfect. Is there anything else I need to know?
Not really. Just make sure your bike's in good working order before your first ride. We recommend carrying a spare tube, tyre levers, and the small pump. We've got club mechanics if you need help.
That's really helpful. Thanks for all the information.
My pleasure, Thomas. Welcome to Greenford. We look forward to seeing you out on the road.
Thanks. I'll get the form filled up this evening.
That is the end of Section 1.
Section 2.
You will hear a community liaison officer talking to a group of new residents. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this short induction session for new residents of the Richmond Borough. My name is Helen Barker, and I'm the Community Liaison Officer at the local council. Today, I'll be giving you an overview of some key community services available in the area and how you can access them. Let's begin with healthcare. Richmond has several NHS GP surgeries and clinics, but the one most central to this area is the Parkway Health Centre, located on Cromwell Road. Dr. Julia Meadows is the lead GP there. If you haven't registered with a doctor yet, I'd strongly encourage you to do so as soon as possible. The centre also offers walk-in services for minor injuries and vaccinations, though it's best to check opening hours on their website before visiting. For mental health support, we have a dedicated team at Riverside Wellbeing, run by Counsellor Tom Albright. They offer free drop-in sessions every Wednesday afternoon and scheduled one-to-one appointments throughout the week. The centre works with both adults and teenagers, and services are entirely confidential. If you or a family member are struggling with anxiety, depression, or stress, please don't hesitate to make contact. Next, let me talk about community learning. The Richmond Adult Education Centre, situated just behind the Town Hall, runs a variety of courses ranging from English language support to IT skills and art classes. If you're looking to gain a qualification or just learn something new, it's worth checking their seasonal course list. The centre manager, Margaret Lawson, can also help you access subsidised fees if you're currently unemployed or receiving benefits. There are evening courses available too for those who may be working during the day.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 15 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 15 to 20.
Let's move on to transport and mobility. For those with limited mobility, the Dial-A-Ride scheme is an excellent option. It's a free minibus service that picks up residents from their homes and takes them to key locations, like the local supermarket, library, or GP. You'll need to register in advance with a letter from your GP confirming your mobility needs. The service runs Monday through Friday and is especially helpful for our elderly population. Speaking of the library, the Clarendon Community Library is more than just a place to borrow books. It also functions as a community hub. Every Tuesday morning, for example, they host a coffee and chat session, and on Thursdays, there's a story time for young children. The library also provides free Wi-Fi, computer access, and even printing services for a small fee. New residents are encouraged to get a library card. It's free and easy to apply online. Let's not forget about children and young people. The Richmond Youth Centre runs after-school programs, weekend clubs and holiday activities for children aged 11 to 18. Whether your child is interested in music, sports, coding or drama, there's something for everyone. Activities are supervised by trained youth workers, and the centre places a strong emphasis on inclusivity and mental well-being. Now, let's talk briefly about waste and recycling. Every household is given 2 bins, a green one for general waste and a blue one for recyclables.
Collections happen on Thursdays. If you live in a flat, you'll likely have shared bins located at the back of your building. Please make sure to rinse all recyclable items. Contamination is a real issue and can lead to entire loads being sent to landfill. You can collect compost caddies from the Civic Centre free of charge, and food waste is collected weekly. One last service I'd like to mention is Volunteer Richmond, a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to get involved in the community. Whether you're interested in helping at the food bank, supporting local schools, or visiting isolated elderly residents, Volunteer Richmond can match you with a cause that suits your interests. If you're new to the UK, this is also a brilliant way to meet people and improve your English in real-life settings. Before I wrap up, just a quick note. If you need help accessing any of these services, don't hesitate to contact me directly. My office is located on the first floor of the Council's Civic Centre, and I'm available Monday through Thursday during normal office hours. You can also email me. The address is helen.barker@richmond.gov.uk. That's all from me today. I hope this information makes your transition into the community a bit smoother. We're really pleased to have you here in Richmond, and we hope you'll make full use of the support on offer. Thank you, and I'll now take any questions you might have.
That is the end of Section 2.
Section 3.
You will hear a conversation between a professor and two students discussing a historical event. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Good afternoon, Simon and Lily. Welcome to our tutorial session on major historical transformations. Today, we'll analyze the Industrial Revolution and its impact on society. Please feel free to take notes and ask questions.
Thanks, Professor. The Industrial Revolution seems like such a broad topic. What's the best way to approach it?
A great question, Simon. The best approach is to break it down into phases. The Industrial Revolution wasn't a sudden event, but rather a gradual transformation that began in the late 18th century and continued into the 19th century. It primarily started in Great Britain before spreading worldwide.
Why did it start in Britain?
Several factors contributed to this. First, Britain had abundant coal and iron essential for industrial machinery. Second, a strong banking system allowed businesses to invest in new technologies. Finally, population growth created a large workforce, fueling production in factories. Additionally, Britain's colonial expansion provided access to raw materials and new markets, which encouraged industrial development.
Were factories the biggest change?
Factories were one of the most significant shifts in production. Before industrialization, most goods were produced by hand in small workshops. The introduction of mechanized factories significantly increased efficiency, enabling mass production. Textiles were one of the first industries to benefit, with machines such as the spinning jenny revolutionizing fabric production. Similarly, steam-powered machinery allowed factories to operate at a much larger scale, reducing reliance on manual labor.
That must have changed people's lives a lot.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Absolutely. The Industrial Revolution altered every aspect of daily life. Urbanization increased dramatically as people left rural areas for factory jobs in cities. This led to overcrowded housing, poor sanitation, and harsh working conditions. However, wages were often better than those in agricultural jobs, which encouraged migration. Women and children were frequently employed in factories due to their lower wages, which raised concerns about labor exploitation.
What about transportation? Did it advance during that time?
Yes, the Industrial Revolution sparked innovations in transportation. The steam engine played a crucial role, powering trains and ships. Railroads expanded, connecting cities and improving trade. Shipping also became more efficient, facilitating international commerce. The construction of canals further enhanced transportation networks, making the movement of raw materials and finished products easier.
Were there any negative effects?
Certainly. While the Industrial Revolution led to progress, it also resulted in exploitation. Many workers, including children, endured long hours in unsafe conditions. Additionally, pollution increased due to coal burning, impacting air quality. The use of factory machinery also posed significant safety risks, leading to workplace injuries.
Did governments intervene to improve conditions?
Over time, yes, labor laws were introduced to regulate work hours and improve safety. Trade unions also emerged, advocating for workers' rights. By the late 19th century, governments passed laws to limit child labor, improve sanitation, and establish minimum wages. Public health reforms were also introduced, addressing the poor living conditions in industrial cities.
Did the Industrial Revolution influence future technological growth?
Absolutely. The advancements made during the Industrial Revolution paved the way for further innovation, leading to developments in electricity, communication, and medicine. The invention of the telegraph, for example, revolutionized long-distance communication. Similarly, improvements in steel production laid the groundwork for modern infrastructure and engineering.
Did education change as a result of industrialization?
Yes, education became more accessible. As industries grew, there was an increasing need for a skilled workforce. Governments and private organizations began investing in education, particularly in technical skills. Public schools expanded, offering basic literacy and numeracy training to prepare workers for factory jobs.
That's fascinating. It's amazing how much changed during that time.
Indeed, the Industrial Revolution transformed economies, societies, and global interactions in ways that continue to shape the world today.
This has been really insightful. Thanks for the discussion, Professor.
Yes, it's been very helpful.
That is the end of Section 3.
Section 4.
You will hear a talk on the topic of climate change and global solutions. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon. Today I'll be discussing one of the most pressing challenges of our time, climate change and the global strategies being implemented to address this crisis. I'll examine the scientific evidence, current impacts, and the range of mitigation and adaptation measures being adopted worldwide. Let me begin with the fundamental science. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in global temperatures and weather patterns. While climate variations occur naturally, scientific evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates that human activities have been the dominant driver of climate change since the mid-20th century. The primary cause is the emission of greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide, which trap heat in Earth's atmosphere. The concentration of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere has increased by over 40% since pre-industrial times, rising from approximately 280 parts per million in 1850 to over 415 parts per million today. This dramatic increase correlates directly with industrialization and our dependence on fossil fuels for energy production, transportation, and manufacturing. Temperature records show that the past decade was the warmest on record globally. The average global temperature has risen by 1.1 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century. While this might seem modest, even small temperature increases have profound consequences for our planet's climate systems. These changes are already producing visible impacts worldwide. Arctic ice sheets are melting at an accelerated rate, contributing to rising sea levels. Current projections suggest sea levels could rise by up to 2 meters by the end of the century if emissions continue at present rates. Coastal communities from Bangladesh to the Pacific Islands face displacement as the lands become uninhabitable. Weather patterns are becoming increasingly extreme and unpredictable. We're witnessing more frequent and severe droughts in some regions, whilst others experience unprecedented flooding. Hurricane intensity has increased significantly, with storms reaching higher wind speeds and causing more extensive damage than in previous decades. The economic implications are staggering. The insurance industry estimates that climate-related disasters now cost the global economy over $150 billion annually. Agricultural productivity is declining in many regions due to changing precipitation patterns and extreme weather events, threatening food security for millions of people. However, the international community is responding with comprehensive strategies to address this challenge. The Paris Accord, signed by 196 countries in 2015, represents the most ambitious global climate accord to date. The agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, with efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees.
Renewable energy technologies are experiencing unprecedented growth and cost reductions. Solar power costs have fallen by 85% over the past decade, making it the cheapest source of electricity in many regions. Wind energy capacity has tripled globally since 2010, whilst battery storage technologies are improving rapidly, addressing the intermittency challenges of renewable sources.
Carbon capture and storage represents another promising technological solution. This process involves capturing carbon dioxide emissions from industrial sources and permanently storing them underground. Several large-scale projects are now operational, with the capacity to remove millions of tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere annually. Nature-based solutions are gaining recognition as cost-effective climate strategies. Reforestation and afforestation programs can absorb substantial amounts of carbon dioxide whilst providing additional benefits such as biodiversity conservation and soil protection. Wetland restoration projects serve dual purposes. They sequester carbon and provide natural flood protection for coastal areas. Urban planning is also evolving to address climate challenges. Cities consume over 70% of global energy and produce similar proportions of greenhouse gas emissions. Green building standards now mandate energy-efficient construction materials and renewable energy systems. Urban forests and green roofs help reduce the heat island effect whilst improving air quality. Individual actions, whilst seemingly small, collectively make significant impacts. Transportation accounts for approximately 14% of global emissions, so choosing public transport, cycling, or electric vehicles reduces personal carbon footprints substantially. Dietary changes, particularly reducing meat consumption, can lower individual emissions by up to 30% annually. The transition to a low-carbon economy presents both challenges and opportunities. Traditional industries must adapt or face obsolescence, but new sectors are creating millions of jobs worldwide. The renewable energy industry alone employs over 12 million people globally, with employment continuing to grow rapidly as technologies expand. Financial markets are increasingly recognizing climate risks and opportunities. Green bonds, which fund environmentally beneficial projects, have grown from virtually nothing to over $500 billion in annual issuance. Major investors are divesting from fossil fuel companies and redirecting capital toward sustainable alternatives. Education and awareness remain crucial for driving behavioral change. Young people in particular are demanding action from governments and corporations. Climate activism has mobilized millions globally, creating political pressure for more ambitious policies and faster implementation of solutions. In conclusion, while climate change presents an unprecedented global challenge, the response is equally unprecedented in its scope and ambition. Success requires coordinated action across all sectors of society, from international agreements to individual choices. The technologies and strategies exist. What's needed now is the political will and social commitment to implement them at the scale and speed required.
That is the end of section 4.